Well, hello again. Welcome to NemusMarket.com or YouTube.com/NemusMarket. Today I've decided to make a little video about a new edition. This new edition is a Vacheron Constantin ultra-thin watch in white gold. Now I've seen quite a few of these in yellow gold, but you rarely see one in white gold. As you can see, this is a vintage watch and measures around 33.5, I would say, with the lugs, maybe 34 millimeters. So by today's standards, it is considered small, although I believe it's really the perfect size. You see a lot of watches nowadays at 36 millimeters, 38 millimeters, 44 millimeters. There's some manufacturers which are kind of comical because they're making 50 millimeter watches. Now, if that's something you're into, I don't mean to attack what you like. I'm simply saying I think the whole point of certain watches, like a Vacheron Constantin, a Patek Philippe, an Audemars Piguet, is refinement, or at least was at one time. And I know recently Patek has stepped up, and as well as Vacheron Constantin has stepped up the sizes. And Audemars, of course, that Royal Oak offshore is extraordinarily large. But as far as a simple watch like this, straightforward, I think this is really just the perfect size. This one dates to around, I would say, the mid-50s. We can even say 60s. Certainly before the 1970s. As you see, it says Vacheron and Constantin, and there was a logo change in the 1970s where it simply said Vacheron Constantin. No and. I'm very pleased with this watch. Just got it in today. Dealt with a jewelry store for this. I didn't buy it from a collector. Normally I buy pieces from a collector. I'm a collector, so I prefer to deal with collectors, but this was in a jewelry store, and they did a great overhaul of this piece. It's running properly. It's manual wind, of course. Features the 1003 caliber, or 1003 caliber, and it really, so far, I've only had a couple hours, it's just keeping excellent time. I really, really love the look of this piece. It is just utterly refined and very stealth wealth. You hear that term a lot. Collectors use it, and it really is. It's understated, but yet it says so much. It's white gold, so you have a precious metal there. It doesn't have a sub-dial, which I really enjoy, because I don't think I've ever had a watch with no sub-dial, with the exception of maybe my Patek 5110. Of course, that dial is quite busy, and I'm really enjoying the simplicity of this. Now, for those of you who don't know about Vacheron and Constantin, it is the oldest watch company with a, I guess we'll say, the continuous watch company, because there have been some that possibly predate Vacheron Constantin and were re-envisioned and brought back to life, but this has been in constant production of watches since 1755. And it's just really amazing that it had about a 150-year head start on Rolex. Rolex, which is one of my favorite brands for obvious reasons, because it's iconic, it's beautiful, it's extraordinarily well made. They came about in 1905, and really, and of course collectors are going to get upset about this, and I'm sure someone will leave a comment, but did not make, truly their own timepieces until about the 1930s, or at least as the Rolex we know it. And so this is really amazing to have this sort of piece of history. 1755, wow. They celebrated, their 200-year anniversary, and in 1955. I mean, who can say that? That's truly, truly amazing. And of course, the 1977 was the 222 model, which I've seen quite a few of. If you haven't seen that, I'd suggest doing a Google search, Vacheron Constantin 222, and that was to mark the anniversary, of course, too. And it also is a phenomenal model, and was designed by Gerald Genta, who is the same designer who contributed such designs as the Audemars Piguet, Royal Oak, the Patek Philippe, Nautilus, and of course the Vacheron Constantin 222. And unfortunately, Mr. Genta recently passed away, I believe, a few weeks ago now. But in any event, this is a really beautiful watch. I've ordered another strap. This is not my favorite. I prefer not the high gloss strap, and I've been cleaning this one, trying to get rid of some of this under my nail, in fact, where I was trying to kind of scratch away on the edges. This is not an excellent strap. It's not extraordinarily well made. I'm scratching around here. But I'm going to get a new strap. I ordered a gray one because I thought it maybe look really interesting with this piece. Gray crocodile. And I don't know. I'll probably call the piece Dorian Gray. Not just because it is, of course, a gray color scheme, but also because of its timeless, unaging beauty. I think this piece is heirloom quality, and I could absolutely see myself still owning this in 20, 30, 40 years. And who knows, maybe even giving it to my son or daughter, you know. It's a beautiful piece. And remember, don't be intimidated by 33mm watches. Nothing is wrong with wearing a watch that is not, a dinner saucer size. It's fine. These are other taste and refinement. I know it's fashionable to, get a Rolex Deep Sea, which is big, and to get something, a Panerai, which is another brand I like and I find interesting. But nothing's wrong with sometimes wearing a watch that is understated. And an interesting thing is recently I've been wearing a day-date, which is far from understated, with the exception of perhaps a platinum or a white gold day-date. But I've been wearing a yellow gold day-date with diamond bezel and markers of all things. And because of what people are wearing, it goes unnoticed. No one says anything. No one makes any sort of acknowledgement of it. They probably just think I'm tacky wearing a fake gold watch with diamonds, which is fine with me. But it's interesting, as soon as I put on something like a vintage sub or even a Rolex Submariner, I get compliments. I had an Explorer 2 for a little while. I wore that. I got countless compliments in one day, 3 or 4 compliments. And it's just really interesting. People, and I think it really says that people are more interested in kind of a refined and not over the top statement. And of course, it depends on the person wearing it. If you're I guess a personality. I guess you could have a large watch, but doesn't it speak volumes about you if perhaps you have a large personality and can just put on a 33mm watch? I mean, it says something, doesn't it? And it really is something I think we're slowly going back to. I mean fashion. And I think this will be back in vogue. It's understated. It's, classic. It's old world, okay? It's far from nouveau riche as possible. So hopefully my video wasn't totally boring. As you can see, I'm just completely enamored with this piece. I just received it less than 2 hours ago. And very excited and very happy to wear it. And as you can see, I need to put that back on. So thank you for watching. And remember, Vacheron Constantin.